Hi, this is Zach here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 5th of June. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which looks a little uncomfortable there at the floor of that rising trend channel from back in February. The nominal level there around 82.20. We're holding above that, but we had a little attempt to go high. We obviously had the shooting star on Monday, which is not a good look. The risk here really is below 8200, looking for the 50-day line 8140. Even if we then head higher after that. RSI is still just below the neutral 50 level at 49, so that's also slightly negative. We need to close basically above 82.50 today to get that RSI in the right place. If we do break Monday's intraday peak, 83.71, then it's off to the top of that channel towards 86.80, but obviously at the moment that looks like it's a long way away, but not expecting worse than the 50-day line at this stage. On to the DAX, and this market has tested its, has been trying to test its 50-day line. So far we've bounced above it, which is a positive. Effectively, we are bouncing off the floor of that rising trend channel from back in the autumn. So the support zone here, 18,300. We were factoring in down to 18,200, the late April resistance, but so far 18,300 plus has done the trick. And looking for a break of the initial June resistance there. End of day close above that to 18,700 to get the market back on track for a move towards the top of that rising trend channel from back in October, 19,600 by the end of next month. RSI just on the right side of neutral 50, just under 51, so that is helpful and suggests the technical glass there is half full rather than half empty. The Dow is the next contender, and here it's been quite a rocky ride in the recent past. We have to say the question was where the floor of the channel was, and then we had the attempt to get through the 50-day line. That's around 38,800. Want to see an end-of-day close above that to give us a chance of moving up to 40,000 again for the third time we've approached that area. If we break through 40,000, then 41,600. By the end of next month is the potential target there. On the downside, there is still the risk of having to test April support there towards 37,600, but probably just at the moment hoping that we'll get back above that 50-day line, and that will be the end of the pullback from 40,000. Moving on to Bitcoin, and here I saw somebody getting excited about the market being back above 70,000. We're already really looking for 73,800, the record area by the end of, or during June by the end of this month. It's for next month where the fireworks may start, 88,000 at the top of that rising trend channel. From October, we've also got the 50-day line rising. We've had multiple support points above a rising 50-day line, which tends to be a leading indicator on the upside. And also we've had a bounce, a double bounce there for the RSI at neutral 50. So leading the market, the market's leading us to expect a higher move, especially with that U-shaped bull flag, as I call it, the consolidation above the rising 50-day line. If we break down, 65,000 is the magic area, which is the 50-day line in the floor of that channel. Worst case is a final test of 60,000 or just below, just to stop out people would be a negative, or would be the negative situation pan out that we were looking for. Moving on to gold, and here the situation, one of still sort of trying to recover here really with the double top from back at the middle of last month. Current situation is we're struggling to hold the 50-day line. We've got to factor in down to the floor of that rising trend channel from December, 2380, 2390 as potential target there. That's obviously the neckline support area of the double top that we've got in place. RSI at 47, so that also suggests that 2380.90 may have to be seen before we then go and recover, if we recover. But ideally we stay within that rising trend channel, the floor of that channel there, from back in December at 2280. Moving on to the stocks, and no big wow situations, but some stocks which have been a wow in the past. Alpha Growth is first, and here had a bounce above a rising 50-day line, quite a sharp turnaround there, bear trap from below the early May support there, 1.7, and above that, looking for not only recent resistance around 2.3 pence, but also up to 3 pence by the end of next month. So the key here is staying above that 50-day line area, basically staying above a penny and a half, which it looks as though the shares will do. Ideally, we're above 1.7 pence. On to one of the biotechs which is doing rather well at the moment, Allergy Therapeutics. Here, a beautiful break higher over the recent past, a sort of curving up there that we've had. Initial target here was 4 pence, next target 5, and now we're looking for 6.3 pence by the end of this month. And as you can see from the chart, there's a long way to go to recover the past glories, so this could be a decent winner. The whole rally here started with that gap higher that we had back in November, and we haven't really looked back from that point. If you're a fan of the shares and looking for greater glories, then probably the line I'm drawing there from back in June 2023, heading for 8.5 pence, would be the summer 2024 target there. Stock that I would believe that hardly anyone's heard of is Devolver, and here, beautiful chart though. We've got a wide rising trend channel base that's been in place since July last year. Top of the channel there, heading for 33 pence. So if you're looking for hopefully a non-volatile slow melt up for a stock, this may be the one. We had the golden cross in the middle of last month between the 50 and 200 day moving averages around 21 pence. Above that, looking for 33 by the end of July. On to Empire Metals, where the words Mother Nature were included in the RNS, which must be quite a rarity. Here we've got a rising trend channel, trend channel in place since back in October, and probably the channel, actually the upper parallel, heading for 16 pence by the end of next month. We've gapped up through recent resistance around 10.6 pence, and above that looking for 16 pence by the end of July. The setup already pretty good anyway. We had a bear trap rebound from below the 200-day line, ricocheted off a rising 50-day line, so that was all good for the shares. Moving along to a stock which had quite a flourish yesterday. It was enough to get the shorting conspiracy to try and dampen the price action earlier today, but having bounced at around 1.7 pence above our old resistance of 1.6, that's a sort of line in the sand for being bullish here, then we are looking for not only a retest of yesterday's peak 2.4, but actually the upper parallel of that triangle from back in January, heading for 3.1 pence. Obviously, there are quite a lot of headwinds on this stock, but the ideal scenario here is that we stay above the 200-day line on an end-of-day close basis, and then can head up to 3 pence plus by the end of next month. What is obviously notable here is that most of the rallies in the recent past have been 1 or 2 day wonders, for instance in October or December and back in February, so one has to be rather cautious, the shorters notwithstanding. But that 50-day line is rising well now, so as I said, at least while we're above 1.6, this is the start of a potential recovery, an unlikely recovery there at Eurasia. Next up is Futura Medical, which is, I suppose, a fun stock. That might be the way of describing it. Here you can see that we've had a major trend line break there from back in June. That was 39 pence, and above that on an end-of-day close basis, looking for up to 55 pence by the end of next month. The turnaround here, I suppose, was the bear trap gap reversal back at the beginning of last month. In fact, we had 2 gaps to the upside and filled one of them. The next thing to note will be obviously staying above that 2023 resistance line, and also the 200-day line starting to rise. If we can get that, we could be in the run-up to a golden cross later this month. But the key also is the way that the 50-day line has started to rise as well already, and that does suggest that we are on our way, especially with that trend line break to 55 pence. Only well below recent support at 36 pence would really delay the recovery and turnaround scenario of that situation. Haven't looked at Firering for quite a long time, and until I think this week. And here you can see we've got that rising trend channel base, rising 50-day line there as well, and gapping up today in a rather mysterious way. Top of the channel there up to 5.3 pence, which we're looking for by the end of next month, especially while we remain above recent neckline resistance at 3.35 pence. So not a bad risk-reward situation there, and backed by an extended uptrend line in the RSI window. Hellenic is next, where we've been noting the first signs of a potential turnaround. Obviously, it's been a rather grim bear run for the shares, but the shares remaining within that descending price channel there, that's been in place since December, and bouncing off it modestly at the moment. There is a slight glimmer of hope as well in the RSI window, where we've had lower lows for June, but The RSI has been flat to slightly up actually as well, so that is a plus. Probably the big thing here would be to have an end of day close back above recent resistance of 1.65 pence, and then the best case scenario would be that we'd head up to 2.5 pence, maybe by the end of next month or a little bit sooner. Moving on to PHC, otherwise known as Plant Healthcare, where one or two keen Twitterati are suggesting this is a big winner. We've already had it as a big winner. We broke 4.1 pence resistance, 4.2 pence resistance, and initial target there was 5.5 pence. Second target just under 7.7 pence, hopefully over the next week or two. Ideally, we stay above 5.5 pence, the previous target. On to Roadside, which had an update today and actually initially gapped up. It's still up on the day, but gapped up. Well, the second target here was 14 pence, which we're looking for hopefully over the next week or two. Big picture target maybe by the end of next month, or bigger picture target 22 or 23 pence by the end of July. Remember that we are coming off the back of a golden cross back in April, and that W-shaped turnaround also looking healthy. Ideally, we stay on the right side of 12 pence as much as possible. A stock which is about as easy as looking at or predicting the wanderings of an inebriate spider is TinyBuild, and here the latest is that it looks as though we're in a rising trend channel there from back in January, top of the channel there at 7.5 pence, and we've gapped up off the floor of the channel there at 4.8 pence, but obviously I would guess that this is not for everyone, this situation, but we did gap down back in April and have gapped up now, so that could be significant in the sense that the bears may be being caught out. Speaking of bears being caught out, we've got Tasty next, and here the situation looks quite decent in the sense that we've gapped up above the rising 50-day line and through the 200-day moving average, and some of the best rallies in the recent past, like Powerhouse Energy, have started on that signal. Initial target here, 1.62 pence, end of day close above that. We're looking for 2.4 pence, perhaps as soon as the end of this month. Ideally, there is no end of day close back below 1.2 pence, recent neckline resistance and the gap floor. Finishing off with Vast, where I tweeted out yesterday its potential movements, but it looks like we've already had the excitement. We're looking for the low 40s, but the situation now looks as though we've had a bull trap through the May resistance area, 0.38. Depends obviously now what happens on an end of day close basis, and obviously historically the company's rather good at delivering fundraisers anytime the shares go up. But the key here for the rest of the day is we stay above the top of that gap there at 0.31. Above that, we still have a chance of filling the gap up into the low 40s. Best case is 0.5 pence, but the way we're behaving so far today with a shooting star candle, perhaps that will not be. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.